After Prabhupada disappeared in 77, we kept doing libraries, but then in 78, Petit Udharana in Bombay, he asked me if, Prabhupada asked him if he would help with the Lilamrita. Then I said, oh, what's that work you're doing? And he goes, well, I don't know if I can do it. Are you interested? And I said, sure, I'd love to do it. And then, then I picked it up. I contacted Satsrup. They got me a tape recorder, gave me some money and said, okay, here's what you do. You go interview different people. Just go all over India and interviewing people. And I said, fantastic. My problem was I wouldn't stay long enough in a place, but sometimes I'd go to a place and I couldn't always meet a person. Then I'd leave to come back and meet him again. So at this time in Delhi, because there was one Pandit who was Prabhupada's first disciple, Acharya Prabhakar Mishra, and he was a Sanskrit scholar, not only a Sanskrit scholar, but also he was very cultured. He had MA, PhD, everything, and he had been actually teaching Sanskrit. And Prabhupada went to Jhansi, and he actually told Acharya Prabhakar, he said, I came here because in a dream I saw you and I knew I was supposed to come. So then I came to Jhansi, and then that's when Prabhupada says, I met you for this reason. And so then he was there. He was a very cultured man. I was impressed by his demeanor. He was very well clean-cut and very well behaved and very articulate because he was a scholar. And Prabhupada, when he was there with him, they would do bhajan together. They'd actually go out and do Rath Yatra, small Rath Yatra. They'd go do programs in other cities and everything around the area, small villages. And Acharya Prabhakar said that one night he had to go to Delhi. It was actually Krishna Janmashtami. He had to go to Delhi. He came back, took a little rest. Then he woke up. It was 1 a.m. and this was 1954, Janmashtami. And he said that he could hear Prabhupada playing Mridanga in the temple room, and it was very ecstatic. So he went upstairs, and when he saw Prabhupada there, Prabhupada was bouncing around the temple room doing Kirtan, and he was wearing this long garland all the way down to his feet. And Prabhupada was just in total bliss chanting. So Acharya Prabhakar was watching this, and he thought it was very strange because these were Kadamba flowers, and Kadamba flowers aren't real common in Jhansi. They're very rare in that area. And but the other interesting things is Kadamba flowers are usually about this big, about the size of a golf ball. And the ones that were on Prabhupada's garland were the size of tennis balls. And this was pretty bizarre because it was very big. And the other thing was the aroma that was in the air. He called it upakrit, non-material atmosphere, because he was a Sanskritist. And he wanted to ask Srila Prabhupada, well, what was this? Where did this come from? This just doesn't, you can't buy it in the market, this garland. And the atmosphere was so surcharged. He said it smelled like heavenly planets, the aroma. So Prabhupada wouldn't answer. He just kept doing kirtan, bouncing around the temple room, chanting. Then the next morning, he asked Srila Prabhupada, what went on? What was this? Where did you get the garland from? Why did it smell so much? And why were you feeling so blissful? And Srila Prabhupada told him that I was feeling some love for Krishna, and I was chanting to him, and he appeared and gave me this garland, and I went to touch his feet or grab his feet, and then he disappeared. And that was it. And he said, because of that, I was dancing around the temple room, and he was crying. Prabhupada was crying and everything. And Acharya Prabhakar also said that sometimes Srila Prabhupada would chant kirtan for 3 days straight without eating and sleeping. He would just be doing kirtan on and on and on. And he said this was... He didn't specifically say, but Srila Prabhupada was into kirtan, and he would do it very intensely because that was the mood that he had. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is that it's important because this was showing how Srila Prabhupada sometimes would do his bhajan, and how so intense he was in doing it. Because ordinarily as devotees, we'd never heard that like Srila Prabhupada would be chanting for 2 or 3 days straight. We heard that sometimes he wouldn't eat for long periods of time, especially near the end. But here he was actually doing kirtan for a long period of time without eating and no sleeping. And then that was remarkable. And the other thing is the result of his bhajan, and the result of the bhajan was that Krishna had appeared. And so I was taking it to heart that what Acharya Prabhakar was saying had some validity to it, because just the nature of Acharya Prabhakar, and he was very believable. And that basically was it with Acharya Prabhakar. There's a lot more. You can read it in Lilamrita, but there's more detail also. But that was very enlivening to hear.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,